So Thomas, our customers tell us they also appreciate understanding what caused these issues in the first place. So I want to show you a few slides here that will help better demonstrate and give you a visual to what caused this issue to begin with. So you can see here that the poorly compacted soil over time and due to the elements will start to either shrink due to heat or soften due to moisture. Once that happens underneath to the soil underneath your driveway, that causes voids, and those voids then cause your concrete to fail. So as you can already see here, the problem itself is not your concrete, it's the soil underneath. When that happens, either too much water can wash out the soil, or when the heat heats up the soil underneath, it'll cause it to shrink, and then the water underneath it will then start to wash out. Our customers tell us they also So Thomas, our customers tell us they also appreciate understanding what causes these issues to begin with in the first place. And I want to show you some slides to give you some visual examples of what is causing this issue. So you can see here, this is an example of a driveway just like yours. And what happens is that underneath the driveway is the soil. And if the soil is not properly compacted, it will then start to fail. So a few reasons that it starts to fail is either due to high heat. When the soil underneath your driveway heats up, it causes it to then shrink like modeling clay when you leave it outside in the sun. And what that does is that once it shrinks, it starts to create some gaps in between the soil. Then what happens is that once those gaps start to be created, if it rains or if you're in an area where you get a lot of moisture, some of that soil then begins to be washed away. And as it gets washed away, it causes these cavities. So as you can see, Thomas, is the problem that you're having caused by your concrete, or is it caused by the soil underneath it? Exactly, yeah, it's the soil underneath it that's causing your problem. And we have solutions for that. Historically, there have been a few options contractors have used to attempt to fix this problem. Those two options historically were mud jacking and concrete replacement. With mud jacking, what is required is a crew to come out and drill about fist-sized holes in your driveway in the concrete, and then they bring out a machine that will pump a solution. It's a slurry mixed with sand and some other materials like dirt, and I think there's some cement in there. And what that slurry does is it's injected underneath your concrete, and then when it does that, it's trying to then fill those voids with this slurry material. I will tell you that this material that they use, it is very heavy. So what it does is when they pump it in there, it's going to then cause the soil underneath your driveway to then bear even more weight. And as we just spoke and learned about, is the problem have to do with the quality of your concrete and what's supporting it underneath? It's the soil. That's right. It's the soil itself. And do you think if we add more weight to the soil, that will cause the soil to be more stable or to be less stable? That's correct. It'll cause it to be less stable and cause it to sink even more. So, do you think that this would be a good option to solve your problem? No, exactly. If anything, this is maybe going to make the problem even worse. So, another option is going to be concrete slab replacement. So, I know that when we first met each other, I noticed your beautiful landscaping here, and it looks like you take a lot of pride in the way that your yard and your house looks. I bring that up because if you truly care about the way that your house looks, I'm assuming you're going to care the way your driveway and all the concrete, including your beautiful stairs over there and your walkway from your driveway, how that looks as well. Well, with this option, it's going to be very invasive and the most expensive. What we do is we bring a crew out and we completely jackhammer and remove all your concrete. While they're doing that, the crew does need to dig out and create more space alongside bringing in heavy materials. So there is going to be some disruption and a little bit of damage to your grass and plants here. Also, if we just replace the spots in your driveway, there will be a big discoloration. So from the color of the spots that we replace, it will look very different from your walkway and your stairs. So if you like that all to match, then we would have to rip out and replace all of the concrete in front of your house, which is now replacing concrete that is not even experiencing any issues just because you'd like it to look the same and uniform. Does this sound like an option that would solve your problem? No, if anything, it sounds like it's now we're creating another and a bigger problem in a different way. So I actually have another solution for you that Groundworks offers. Our engineer department put together this short video clip that explains at a very high level what it is. Let me play this. Then we'll get more into details about what's going on. So as you can see, based on the video we just watched, our solution is going to be the least invasive. All we need to do is drill penny-sized holes inside your concrete, and then we implement our poly solution underneath the specific spots of your driveway that have the voids. One of the biggest benefits about this option, Thomas, is that the material itself first comes out in a liquid form. So then it finds all the low spots and voids underneath your concrete, and then it expands and fills those voids and creates stability. Now, I want to emphasize how light this material is, because like we've spoken about before, the problem is the soil underneath the concrete and not the concrete itself. So if we're using a lighter material that will fill in and cause stabilization, that will not be adding any more weight to the soil underneath. The other great benefit about our product is that it cures very quickly, and it's also thermal resistant and hydrophobic. So when we were first talking about why soil starts to fail in the first place, it has to do sometimes with the elements of heat and water. This material is going to stand up to that incredibly well. And it cures within a few minutes. So within 15 minutes when we're done, you're able to go in there and drive on your and use your driveway. We also fill in these penny-sized holes with some more concrete, so then it's very hard. It's not very visible, all the work we've done underneath there. And then if you'd like, we can fill in with caulking all the cracks that may have been caused, and that is your choice on whether you'd like us to do that. So what do you think about our solution? Does the poly renewal that we have sound like a good option that will solve your problem? I agree. I think it would be a great option.